Welcome back at 8:45. Markets are on edge this morning and honestly each day as we kick off the second quarter. Rising oil prices, a cooling job market, and the ongoing war in Iran all weighing on investors. Ernie Burns with Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors joins us to help us make sense of what's going on here and explain what all of this could mean for your money. Ernie, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
So let's start with the big picture. Obviously, mainly because of what's happening in Iran, the markets have been very shaky lately. Is that the biggest driver, would you say?
The biggest, well, yes, and it's the four horsemen right now. It's AI worries, inflation, the oil issues in Iran, and also the war itself. But it looks like the last 2 days, 3 of those 4 might get answered. And if oil prices drop, inflation is going to drop. Therefore, when the war is over with, supposedly we'll see what happens in the next month.
Let's talk about the economic data we've been seeing, the latest data, especially when it comes to jobs. What are you seeing there exactly?
The last report was a 4.4%, so unemployment rate, which is pretty good. Things are slowing down. People are not hiring as aggressively before, but also people are not leaving their jobs. So it's relatively calm right now.
Let's talk about, let's go more in depth about what's happening in Iran. I know it's mostly the oil impacts and how that's impacting the market.
Well, the Strait of Hormuz, as people probably heard 10 times already, controls 1/5. Well, that flow of that 1/5 oil going through there controls oil prices worldwide. Once that strait opens up, oil prices will drop and everything will start flowing again, which will throw inflation back down. The issue is this actually going to happen? You know, that's the big hung up question right now, as we were talking prior to. Are they actually going to announce the same thing? Is Iran going to announce and solidify what President Trump's going to talk about tonight?
Let's also talk about what viewers should be doing. Obviously, there's so much volatility. You mentioned we don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next with oil prices until this whole situation is resolved. Of course, that could have an impact on inflation, etc. So what should investors, what should people be doing as they watch all of this up and down?
Not sell.
Okay.
This is self-imposed, just like April last year. This is self-imposed. So therefore, and as you've seen it bounce the last 2 days, once this war is over with, or at least the Strait of Hormuz is open completely, everything is going to start getting back to normal. The only question back then out of the 4 horsemen I talked about earlier would be AI. So therefore, and that's looking like it's going to be worked out too.
What are the concerns with AI? You mentioned 4 horsemen sounds very dark, but what about AI is causing that volatility?
It scares, like the Industrial Revolution, the last 100 years. 100 years ago, our largest technology was the Ford Model T. All right? Yeah. Now, and then we had the dot-com bubble back in the 90s, and now we have the AI bubble. It's created jobs more times than less. And what happens is people think the economy is going to slow down, the jobs are going to disappear. It just creates a different type of jobs. It's not going to slow down the economy. It's actually going to speed up the economy. We're going to have more technology happen in the next 10 years than we've had the last 100 years. Think about that. In the next 10 years, you're going to have quadruple the technology, up to 100 times more in the next 10 years than we had the last 100 years. That is scares a lot of people, but in the same instance, it's going to speed up the exercise of the human race.
We'll wait and see what happens, especially after we hear from the president later tonight. Ernie Burns, thanks so much for your time.